Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to listening to me share with you on how to use the power of storytelling, visibility and vulnerability for effective marketing. My name is Crystal Hill. I am the founder of Crystal Hill Publishing, a soul leadership mentor and Tantra teacher. And I have a big and massive background in many years of diverse and rich experiences, which I will share with you in a little while for just a little one, just so you kind of understand who I am and why I'm talking to you. But before I do, I want to share my mission with you. My mission, why I do what I do, why I have founded a publishing house. I see my role of being here on this planet at this time as being one of the people who assist in awakening and empowering humanity into deeper levels of sovereignty and connection. I am so passionate about that. I'm so passionate about us coming into our own, coming into sovereignty, releasing the shackles of control, releasing the shackles of fear, releasing anything that is not bringing us joy and bliss and love and connection and fulfillment, because that's what we're striving towards. And so in my 13 years as a life coach, I've been working with women to help them embody their unique essence, to come into their feminine essence, to come into their softness, to get out of that wounded masculine and really tap into who I am. I love working with conscious leaders. I love helping visionaries, thought leaders, way showers, influencers, coaches, healers to claim their gifts, to release the doubt and come into a courageous action with which they can show up in the world for greater visibility, greater impact, so that we can make these changes, so that we can reach the masses, so that we can create the world that we want to live in. So that's my big spiel. I used to be a theater director. When I was in my early 20s, I was a theater director, a drama teacher. I always loved helping people. And that's as vague as it was when I was 17. I was like, I just want to help people, but I didn't know how. And then I realized that psychology wasn't the thing, and perhaps I didn't have enough life experience to help people. I needed to create my own life experience first. And so I was fascinated with human behavior and what makes us tick, what motivates us, why we do the things we do. So I studied English literature, and then the stories that I studied and analyzed, I then wanted to bring alive on stage. So I became a theater director and I expressed myself creatively in that way. Until then I realized, okay, now it's time to take the stories from the stage and to take having helped actors bring out the best performance on stage, to translate that into real life and help my clients to live their best lives, create the best performance in their lives. So I've also been running lots and lots of events, personal development events, Tantra events. I've been traveling across Australia with workshops and presenting at festivals. And when COVID hit, I needed to reinvent myself. You know, it feels like I have a rich and diverse career, but it's really driven by this desire to help humanity come into sovereignty, come into empowerment, come into deeper connection, both with self and with others and with the universe and the earth and the humanity. So now my passion is to facilitate and create platforms and books that allow visionaries and leaders to share their gifts so that they can reach more people, so that collectively we can all wake up. So without further ado, I am going to let you listen to the presentation, which has been recorded as part of a presentation I gave for the Amazing Women's Network, the Amazing Women's networking event. And so I'll let you listen to that. I'll be back with you at the end to tie it all up again. Enjoy. So much for the opportunity to share with you some tools. So the topic for today is how to use the power of storytelling, visibility and vulnerability effectively in marketing. And we all know, like when I read a multi-author book, when I read the story of somebody, when I read a story, whether it's being on social media or on Facebook or in a book, there is something there that touches the soul, that touches the heart, where for me, storytelling, it immediately bypasses all of the barriers that we put in through our mind and creates that heart-to-heart connection. It enables us to expand our own experience through the experience of somebody else. It enables us to see our experiences from a different perspective because of somebody else's lived experience. And so for that, I love stories. And it is the perfect way to connect to our ideal client, because when we openly share our stories from our life, they will feel that resonance, or they will feel, no, there's no resonance. And it just cuts through all of that other stuff. So the more vulnerable we can be when we are showing up and we become visible in this way, the better. And I know that there is a huge resistance that can show up sometimes, a huge fear of, oh my God, am I really sharing all of this? And so that's what I want to address, because that's really the biggest hurdle for us to show up openly, all of who we are in storytelling. And I know there's lots of marketing people who say, no, keep your personal life at home and just show up as your professional person. But I really believe that the times that we're moving into, we need to show up as all of who we are in our business, in our lives. And so those stories feed in. And of course, there's a way to tell those stories. What I'm not saying is that you're triggered that night and you show up writing in a triggered state. That would not be a powerful way of storytelling. So we do not want to do that. What we want to do, however, is to be triggered, to deal with the trigger, to gain the realizations and the awareness from the trigger, to broaden out, to reach a greater perspective, sort of a more of an archetypal or universal theme in that story, in that trigger, and then share from that place. So we always want to, it's like you're zooming in the lens into your personal life, and then you're broadening out again to see how this can apply or how this applies to other people. And so for me, that type of storytelling is really, really powerful to allow people to come into your world, but then also to make it relevant to them. So because the connection is the currency of successful business. That's just how it is. We buy from people we know, like, and trust. And, you know, we cannot say that often enough. We really do. If there's 5 business coaches and there's one where I feel, oh, they've had a similar experience, they really get me, I'm going to go with them. And so how will you give your clients the opportunity to know that about you unless you share your personal stories? You know, it's the little things about, my children did this on the weekend. So, oh, I've got children too. Yeah, my children did that too. Oh, she gets me. She understands. So that's why even sharing those personal things, I feel, is important. And the key for this, of course, is, so I've got 3 steps here. Why you must show up exactly how you are. And I feel I've just explained that or demonstrated that. And so then there's 3 simple tools to assist you to show up powerfully in all of who you are. And the first thing is that you must love yourself. If you feel there's something wrong with you, if you don't back yourself 100%, then you're always going to hide something. You're always going to be in shame on some level. And people will feel that, even though you never speak about it, that it is in the energy. And I'll give you an example. My book is called Fearless Presence. And that title just channeled through so quickly. I've never come up with a title so fast in my life. And so I got to a certain amount of, I got to 8 people. That was easy. And then it stopped for 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I looked in, okay, where am I afraid? What am I afraid of? What are the things in my personal life that I'm fearing? And I've just gone through a breakup. There are legal processes happening. And so there was fear. I'm like, okay, so I was sitting down, I was journaling, thinking about what is the worst thing that could happen. Yes, I could lose all of my money through the process. Yes, I could lose my reputation, but then those people who see me and feel me, they're not going to walk away. So that's not really a problem. Is losing money a problem? It's inconvenient, but if that's the worst thing that happens, I'm still me. I still got myself. And yeah, so I worked through all of those things, not just in my mind, but also emotionally. I did a meditation and I felt layers and layers and layers of fear leaving my body. In the next week, 10 people joined. So that's just one of those examples of how when we use the energetics and when we're in tune, things flow, things can flow. And so really being an entrepreneur, as you know, is probably the biggest personal development journey you will ever go on, simply because of those things. Your clients will reflect to you what you need to learn. It may be boundaries, that you're a pleaser, you say yes to everything, and then you get into these crazy ways that cause lots of headaches, and people try and push the boundaries of what your business structures are. So yeah, the first step here to really showing up powerfully in all of who you are is cleaning up your own life. Really loving yourself in all areas and all of who you are. Yeah, that's really, really key. And if you can't do it through journaling or by yourself, just go and get a coach that you resonate with that can help you to just release some of those layers. What else have I got here? The other thing is, don't copy other people's stories. Don't copy other people's formulas. I've been really guilty of this even until recently, even though I know this. I said, oh, my book mentor, she's done this in this group and it got lots of, she's promoting a book at the moment as well, and her copy got lots of responses. So I copied her framework, inserted my own stuff, and I had 0 engagement. And again, it's like, I know this stuff, right? I know it. And yet sometimes I guess I need a reminder. So to really, this is where we're going into, is like writing from the heart, tuning in, like even sitting down still in the morning. What is mine to share today? Just, I love just sitting down in the morning, just closing my eyes, going into meditation and feeling into what is alive for me right now. What is alive? And how can I make that into a story? And sometimes in the morning, before I get busy, before I get the kids out of bed, I write a whole post because it streams through. And you will know the time for you where it will stream through for you. When is your time where you're most connected, most calm? And that's when you sit down and write and tune in. And then when I write from, and this is also the time when you then don't have to agonize over a post, because it just comes through. It's just there. And it's like, oh, that was fast, 5 minutes, and there it is. Whereas if you're not in the right space, it takes half an hour and it's still not right, and the energy is not going to be right. So don't send that one. Just rather send nothing and wait. That works for me. And we're all different. There are some people who that structure works for them, but it certainly doesn't work for me. And I know many of my clients, it doesn't work for them either. Yeah, so we've got to love ourselves. We've got to write from the heart. And when we're writing from the heart, and you really want to imagine you're communicating to that one person, Sally Sue, whatever you want to call her, whoever your ideal client is, speak to her. Connect with your heart to her heart and speak from that place. Feel into what keeps her up at 3 o'clock at night, or what wakes her up. And I know there is a really interesting way. The new way is to speak to their dreams and desires. The old way was to speak to the scarcity. and what they need, and to make them aware and to flush all their problems to the surface. But the new way is to speak to their hopes and dreams and desires. And again, you know, it's interesting because my book is called Fearless Presence. It's got the word fear in it. And I was questioning that. I was like, should it be courageous presence? But there are times when we need to pick people up where they're at, but we don't shove it into their face where they're at. But the word fear, fearless, still needed, it just needed to be there, just to show the bridge that we're creating from fear into power, from fear into love. So yeah, the 3 simple steps to assist you to show up powerfully exactly who you are is connecting to your heart. Even if that means putting, you know, lighting a candle, putting on some beautiful music that just makes you feel amazing, putting the oil diffuser on, or whatever it is for you, that just gets you into that relaxed space. It's not work, it's soul connection. It's yeah, that's what we're after. When we're in that space, when we can hold that frequency, the longer we can hold it, the more ideal clients we can attract. So connect from the heart, connect with your ideal client's heart, and make sure that you love yourself, that there's no shame in your body, in your mind. So the next one is, or the last one is, the identifying and overcoming the top 3 fears of why professional women don't share their story. And I guess I touched on the first one, is we don't love ourselves. But the fears are the fear of rejection. That's the biggest one. What will other people think? And sometimes, because on our social media especially, we have a large variety of people. We've got our high school friends, our kindergarten friends, we've got our parents, we've got our ideal clients, we've got those we've moved away from. It's like, who do we write to? They're all going to see it. So what do we do? Are we going to be courageous and strong enough to just say to our family, look, you know what, this is who I've become. You either love me for this or not. Do we have to block them? I know of a woman who's in my course, and she had to block her husband on Facebook because out of the goodness of his heart, he kept questioning her choices. It's an extreme thing, right? Are you sure that's the right thing to do? Are you sure that this is going to help make work? Are you sure you want to talk about our dog being on the beach? So that constant questioning, she just couldn't have that in her energy field. She needed to be clear, so she blocked him. She didn't tell him, he didn't realize, but I'm sure they would have had that conversation if it had come up. So what do you need to do? Where are your energy drainers on social media that are preventing you from showing up in your power, in alignment with who you have become, not who you were then to those people? And this is the other thing. The fear of abandonment I've put down as the second one. It kind of goes a little bit deeper, because that's about, yeah, that really is about our family. This is about those we love. You know, being an entrepreneur and being really in alignment requires us to have radical boundaries and radical self-love. It's about getting away from the external validation, getting away from comparisons. And if there's anything we compare ourselves to, it is the highest version of who we are that we connect to in meditation. That's who we want to compare ourselves to. That's what we want to come back to over and over and over. So the fear of abandonment, your spirit, your soul, your guides, like I know I'm talking very spiritual, but that's just how I am. And if that doesn't resonate with you, just replace it with something else that does make sense to you. That you will never abandon you. And if you are your greatest fan, then that fear, yes, we need to look at it, we need to face it, we need to love it, we need to honor it for trying to keep us safe. But we can let it, then it can become just the fear of discernment, the fear of can transform into something healthy. But first we need to become aware of it. So who on your social media are your energy drainers? The ones that you are afraid of, that will see the posts that are the posts of the person you've become, not the person you were to them. The third thing here really is wearing too many hats. you know, we're this to that person, we're that to the other person. So we're different things to different people. We kind of fragmentize ourselves sometimes. The submissive daughter versus the empowered, supercharged powerhouse entrepreneur. They are out of alignment. They don't, they're jar, they don't fit together. Or even being in different social circles. I remember I had that as a teenager. I was different things in different circles. And then when those two came together, I didn't know how to behave. It was really interesting. And I wonder if you guys can relate, that you're different things to different people. And all of that is an energy drainer that will keep you out of alignment and keep you out of the flow of effortlessly and easily attracting those ideal clients. Effortlessly and easily using your vulnerability, your storytelling powers to attract your ideal clients. So, yeah, writing books, offering a chapter is one way of really practicing that, of practicing writing your story for an ideal client. You've got 3,000 words or however many words you've got, and you can really dive in. You can really use it as a self-development tool also to become clear. This is what I stand for. This is who I am. This is who I want to be seen for in this world and be known for. And then your parents may never read it. It may be just read by your ideal clients. But yeah, it's a powerful way of getting ourselves to that next level of visibility, of expert status, if you haven't already done it. And I know sometimes it's nice to do it again and again and again, because we keep changing, we keep bringing new wisdom through. So it's a powerful tool to do that. All right, I trust that you have enjoyed this presentation and that you've gained some valuable tools for your life. Perhaps you've had some aha moments, perhaps certain things were just confirmations of reminders of something that you already knew but really needed to hear again, in how you can courageously tap into your vulnerability and deeply align with your essence. Release any and all interference and really come into that space of integrity, that space of deep alignment, that space of deep, deep connection to self, from where you can share your essence and who you are to speak to the hearts and minds of your ideal client so that they come into your world, work with you, be inspired by you to create a better world. Thank you so much for being here. If you are curious into coming into one of my multi-author books, please reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.